Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ruth Farms. My name is Luke. It's Wednesday. It's March 26th. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to work on the John Deere 4250 and our new to us Kenzie 3500. Really don't have a whole lot to do to the 4250 right now. Been trying to get the muffler off. If you guys have seen the last video, we painted our side screens, and I had my relative, he worked on shining our paint up a little bit. It's dirty now because it's set out here for a week. We took our air cleaner, stacked the tall pipe off like the Joyce Brothers does, and we're looking for us a straight pipe like the Joyce Brothers. Haven't found one yet, and really we're having some trouble getting this one off. These pipes have a flange, like a flared flange at the top that the muffler mounts to the turbo pedestal, and we've had it off and beat and beat and beat, and I'm afraid we're going to break something. So we've kind of took a break from that. Then my brothers had the 986 out here. We put a new blower motor fan in the cab last year sometime, and we never got it closed up properly. We've been fixing the radio on it. He done some work on the front end, tried to get some of the swap out of the front end on the old machine, and we're going to probably put him to work in it here. Really should have already done it, but we got some hay ground that's a little bit barren spots. Go in there with our grain drill and probably drill some oats and fescue and try to get those spots woke back up. I should have done it in the fall and then before winter hit, but it was a little too wet on us. But anyway, I haven't brought you guys on the planter. I showed y'all in the last video, I got the gauge wheels and all tore off of it just so that I could go through here and see how many scrapers and whatnot we needed. But our parts came in the other day, so it is time to pull this old girl out and start rebuilding at least the back half. I don't think I'm going to do the front half for now. We do have a couple seed disc openers that need some attention, but I've got brand new ones for all the back rows, and I'm gonna move the good ones up front, and that'll get us by for the year. I have ran into a couple issues that I was not aware of when I was looking at the planter. Not exactly sure how we're going to fix it yet, but once we get to that point, I'll show you guys and kind of show you my thoughts on how we're going to fix it. I have taken some time, I think it was Saturday, and I threw this row together. We got our new seed disc blades here, new scrapers, you can see the shiny back there. We put our new bushings and our new shaft for our gauge wheel arms and got them working pretty good now. We got everything adjusted properly. Both of these closing wheels on this one had bearings out. I replaced both of the bearings, and then this closing wheel bushing here was wore out, so I replaced it as well. One down and 5 to go, and then we've also got to do some a little bit of TLC on the front units here, not near as much, but like I said, all the scrapers are worn slap out, and about all the inner scrapers are either missing or worn out, and that's the problem that I didn't know we had until I started tearing it down. Didn't even know that was a problem spot to look at. But I do now, so we're going to have to figure out how to fix that issue, and I'll show you here in just a little bit. So I know y'all can't see it right now, but these are scrapers in our seed disc openers. So I know y'all necessarily can't see it right now, but this right here is a scraper that rubs against our seed disc opener, which goes up here. This keeps the dirt off of it. And then you're supposed to have an inner scraper which mounts here and scrapes the inside part of the dirt off and also acts as a wear part for this shank. But those inner scrapers being gone has let this shank wore down, and that's what I got to figure out how we're going to fix. Not real sure yet, but That's our dilemma. Can't ever find the parts or the right tools I need. These old scrapers were shot. Sucker shot. These are precision planting seed firmers with our tubes here for our in-furrow fertilizer. And then just for anybody's reference, if you're ever replacing these, the right side of these shanks, this is a right-handed thread bolt. The other side is a left-handed thread bolt. But they're also starting to wear a little bit in places like right here. Some worse than others. For instance, let's see. One of these is pretty bad wore right here. So, in the future, we're going to have to do some shank replacements, but for now, we're going to try to make it work without it. We got a couple of these gauge wheels we still got to replace some bearings on. Some of these closing arm bushings are shot. We'll get there. It's just going to take some time and some money. Originally, I wasn't going to take all these opening discs off the front, but being we got the problem with the inner scrapers, I'm going to take all of them off and see if all of them are bad or if some of them are there, some of them are not. Try to fix it before the shank is actually ruined. This being the bean rows, they have not been over near as much ground as the back ones, so here's to hoping that they're okay, maybe. Probably wishful thinking, but when you take these discs off, be careful because I think the bolt's loose on this one. Yeah, the bolt's loose on these bearings might actually be fine in this one. Yeah, the bearings are actually fine, the blade just come loose. When you take these off though, there's shims likely on the back side of this bolt. Just be wary so you don't lose those shims. Yep. Take all our shims off here. Yeah, so this one here has actually got the scraper in place. It's wore out, but it's in place. Remember, this side is reverse threads. This is left-handed threads. Now this one here, the bearing's actually out on. All the shims fell off in my hand on this one, which is fine. Yeah, that bearing is shot. There's also a thicker washer on the front side of the bolt where it goes into that bearing. You don't lose it. This one has it. Hopefully it's just the back ones that are messed up. That Colin's trying to fix our radio up in here. We lost power. What am I putting power to? That plug, it'll be, where's the, oh, can you see this other side? Where's the other side of the plug? Can you see it? It's up under there. Yeah. Which one is burned? Talking about the one that's missing part of it. Is it actually burnt? It just like brittle and fell off. So said we were in good shape on these front rows because they do have the scrapers, but we are, I think. But they did leave the scrapers on there way too long, and they have definitely worn into the shank. However, we do still have a bolt hole, at least partially, on all of them, and these here come out, so hoping we can get them bolted back up, hopefully. This is a wear item, y'all. If y'all have a planner, y'all can see how much that one there has wore off. Keep these changed. It'll save somebody a lot of headache one day. And a lot of money. Alright, that one tightened up good. Hopefully the rest of them will tighten up.
How much was that big bottle of Loctite?
Bought that in the ribbon for like 15 bucks.
You're kidding.
On Amazon. Now, whether or not it's good or not, I don't know.
I got absolutely ripped, man.
That's some cheapo. We got some cheapo Hanera Loctite.
I got absolutely ripped.
Yeah, it's just high.
I didn't even get real Loctite. I got the fake, or not fake stuff, but it's like Permatex or something. It ain't even Loctite brand. They charged me $35 for it, which I think I spoke up because I said, what does it cost, about $35 or something? He's like, yeah, about $35. It's a little tiny bottle. It ain't even that big.
But some of these things are just plumb shot. Some of them worse than that one. I think there's one of them ain't even got a bottom hole. This one here, the bottom hole's completely gone. There's supposed to be a hole right here. They have worn that shank completely. That one there's bad, but not quite as bad. Well, we've made a little progress. We'll get there one of these days. I got all the inner scrapers put on, minus I think 3 that are wore out. The shank is. This is the unit. This whole unit's what we call a shank. They're about $330 for a new one. And they let those scrapers get too small, and it's just wore the end here out. We're supposed to have a bolt hole here and here. This one here obviously broke off at some point, and they never bothered fixing it. And then the rest of them, they just let them wear out. They still had a black color to them, so I don't know if maybe somebody at one point has replaced them with like Kinsey ones, and maybe they are black. But these Shoop ones are like that silver looking color. So it's possible those were the original inner scrapers. I can't really imagine them lasting that long because the people we brought it from, they plant about 1,000 acres with it a year. So, I mean, it's had several acres run through it, but I don't know. This one here, though, like y'all can see, this bolt hole is missing. What I'm contemplating doing is cutting this off right there at that. And then I found some weld-on bushing that have threads in them. I'm thinking maybe cut that off and weld that bushing on there. That way we'll have threads again. I don't know though. Y'all let me know what y'all think or what y'all would do. Or I don't really want to spend what $1,300, $1,400 on 4 new units if I can help it. But like I said, this one here is getting more thin where they've let them go too long or something. Probably had disc got too small or something or another. Part of buying used part planters, y'all. I mean, I should have known better to look harder, and should have known more what to look for, but I didn't know to look for those inner scrapers, and it's kind of hard to tell. If I'd known what I was looking for, I could have told with them on there, but without knowing that they're supposed to be there, it's hard to tell when you got a seed firmer here, and then you got the disc wrapping around this thing too. It's a little difficult to find out and tell, but anyway, we got one unit is ready to go. If nothing else, we can plant 1 row of corn at a time this year. But just kidding, we're going to get it going. If I got to spend $1,500 on new row shank units, That's what I got to do. But I'm going to try everything in my power to avoid that, because if we can get a new set of scrapers on it, it's going to last me a long time, I feel like, anyway. So we're going to get her. I got several of these bushings to replace. We got a couple closing wheel bearings back here to replace. And like I said, I got all new pins for these and bushings that go in the arms of the gauge wheels. And then we're going to go through and check every gauge wheel, make sure they're right, get them adjusted properly. Get our new seed disc openers, which are sitting there in the shed. Get them installed and everything set properly. And I'll go through that either in the next video, or if y'all see this, this will go to the next day. However I end up editing it, I'll bring y'all with me. Appreciate y'all. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Ruth Farms. My name is Luke. It's Friday, March 28th, and today we're here in our Wilmar 745, our old sprayer. We're headed to a field that my brother and I split. It's a little 8-acre patch that we picked up last year. It was all growed up, briars and the small trees, and we worked all last year on reclaiming it. And we had plans of keeping it a hay ground, a hay field, and just the amount of weeds and stuff that are in it. We decided this year we're going to plant a cover crop. You know, we're going to apply a lot of chicken litter and trying to get the ground built back up over the winter. And now we're going to go in here this spring. We're going to burn the ground down with a herbicide, and then we're going to work on planting soybeans here in a few weeks and see if we can clear up some of the weeds that keep growing up. We're going over here at this farm, and y'all can see kind of how narrow this little driveway is. So we're going to take some of these little trees out over here and cut what we have to make it big enough for the combine and the planter and everything to get in here. I can get in here pretty easy with a sprayer. Almost got his tractor that you guys have never seen on it. It's a Ford. It's got a loader and four-wheel drive. Bought it real cheap. Needing a lot of work. He's got her going. He's going to try to use it over here and see how it'll do pushing up some trees here in a little while. First off, though, I'm gonna go through here and spray a little bit. Get our booms unfolded. Cover crop's come a long way since we spread that chicken litter on it. Wind's picking up a little bit, but there's nothing around here for me to have to worry about spraying and killing other than our stuff. We're surrounded by trees on all sides, so no big deal. Alright, fold it out. Boom tips down. Let's go to spray it. Hoping to come in here and kind of cut some of these limbs off the sides, off the edges. Y'all ignore that thing, it's being annoying. Rough old field. But it's come a long way since when we first picked it up. This place was growed up. There's fencing in the middle of it. We took out a bunch of fencing. About burnt my skid steer down. It was good times. Just about got this little 8-acre patch knocked out. Boom, about my second to last row. Just gonna take a second though to explain to you guys why we farm these little patches. You know, around here where we farm, you know, there's probably at least 10 farmers within, you know, a couple miles. You know, not all big farmers, at least comparable to farmers out west and stuff that farm thousands. I mean, we have some farmers here close by that farm thousands of acres. For the most part, around here, I would say probably 400 to 500 acres is probably pretty good average for most sheep farmers. Most farmers around here have some sort of off the farm income, a range of different things. As we got a guy that buys and sells concrete tiles like go under roads. Got one guy that redoes hydraulic cylinders and stuff like that. Got people in chicken houses that farm. You know, but anyway, with that being said, you know, with having a lot of farms around here, there's a lot of competition, and it's kind of hard for us to find land to farm. So we kind of take every little garden patch, every little spot that's not farmed, and we try to pick it up and farm it. We've got small equipment, so we're able to do that. And if you're a small farmer looking to pick up land, you know, that might be something you have to do. This farm is definitely less than ideal. I need to get some soil samples done on it, but pH I'm sure is terrible. There's broom straw, broom sedge, whatever you call it, everywhere. And full of weeds. We're still going to try to farm it. We're still going to try to make a penny or two off of it. I'll let you know how that goes here about October. Well, y'all, here it is mid-afternoon here. I got my skid steer back from the chicken houses where we've been hauling chicken litter. Coleman's got his Ford tractor over here. We're over here where we sprayed this morning. We're gonna get unloaded and we're gonna push some of these trees like this over that we can push and try to widen it a little bit where we can get in. And if we got some time, we may even go up around the fence lines and try to trim up some tree limbs. Maybe gain us a bushel or two around the edges. See what we can get done this evening. I've got my skid steer, I got a stump bucket, I got my regular tooth bucket, and we got a bush hog back there. And he's got his 4-in-1 bucket, so we'll see what we can push over or push up, or see what interesting stuff we can get for y'all. We got the tree here we're going to try to push over. Alright, Coleman going to push, and I'm going to push as well. Got it. Now will that Coleman push it out of the way? Maybe. Between the two of us, we got some power. There's some big old roots down in the ground. Yeah, buddy. I just need several more. Got another one here we're going to try to push out. We're getting there. Oh, he's about got it. A little more and he'll have it. I'll give him a little help. When he hit my bucket, bust the tire. There she goes. A little work, we can get them out. I'm sure it's not great on our equipment, but better than hitting it with a combine on the way in here. We're slowly getting there. We got several big trees right here pushed off. We're gonna have to clear off a little area right there. We got this tree to go. Been working a little on this one. And then we got two right there that need to go. And then up through there, there's a fence on the right and on the left. We're gonna have to cut some limbs so that the combine will fit. All the work you do to pick up 8 acres of ground. Something else, y'all. took out a bunch of big trees, but this little one here is whooping our butt. I think Coleman's about got it though. It's a lot of work. It's looking better. Well, that's the tree. That's the tree that broke the Ford. Y'all see anything wrong with that picture? Yeah. Oh, bolt on teeth edge. Them things ain't worth the crap. Broke Coleman's bucket. We'll get her fixed. We're getting there though. It's come a long ways. There used to be trees all the way up through here, and we're getting them cleared. We got several more here we need to clear just so we can get the combine in, but we've made a lot of progress in about 3 hours. Well, y'all, hey, I didn't get no more footage than I did, but when you're bulldozing with a skid steer,
this week has been so much fun.
When you're bulldozing with a skid steer and a tractor, you gotta kindly be careful of where you put a video camera. If not, you'll be buying a new camera. And unfortunately, y'all don't watch my videos enough to make me enough money to buy a new camera every time. So, but needless to say, we're done for the day. Coleman's gonna go to an auction tomorrow, and he's gonna work on his tractor. So he's taking the tractor home, and I'm probably gonna haul chicken litter. So I'm taking my skid steer on home. We'll come back and do a little more tallying up, but y'all can tell down through here it's a lot wider than it was. It might still be a little tight in a couple places with the combine, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. Wish we had a big excavator and push these trees right here on my left out of the way. But for the most part, I need to measure it, but I think as long as we can clear this tree right here, I think we'll be all right. There's a culvert right here. And I just have to make sure we can get past it, but if anything else, I might have to get a header cart, just cart the header in here. I'm gonna come back with a chainsaw and cut this tree right here, the little one, and we might try to cut these few little ones right here, and then right up through here between this fence and what used to be a fence, we need to cut some of these limbs off these trees, these cedar trees. That way it don't take out the cab and everything on the combine, but I'm pretty sure width-wise we can fit through here now. We've spent, I guess, about 3 or 4 hours this evening over here. We're gonna head home and get some supper. And like I said, I'm gonna spread chicken litter, I think, tomorrow before the rain gets here, Sunday, Monday. Whew, what a day. I'm hot. There goes the Ford. Broken, and they've done a good job. But we wouldn't have never got all the trees we got pushed down had it just been my skid steer, and probably even with just mine and his skid steer. With a tractor, you just got so much more pushing power. Whew. Well, let's get to the house and go get something to eat. I'm hot, sweaty, and ready for a drink. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Morning, guys. I'm over here. I'm on the Johnson farm. Been here about all morning, and I'm gonna apologize. I've done a terrible job of documenting what I've been doing, which for the last hour or so I've been spreading chicken litter. But this morning I came over here first thing, and y'all can see that pile of brush down there. It was scattered all throughout that bottom down there, and I've kind of pushed it up in one area. It's a little wet down there in the bottom, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe with me pushing that up like that and getting it from being scattered so much, I'm hoping I can plant through the area, if nothing else, just so I don't have to make so many different little odd end passes. Even if the corn or whatever doesn't do good in that area, because it's a wet spot down through there that they've dug a ditch and put trees in it to kind of act as drain tile. But anyway, I've got all the chicken litter spread on that little chunk of new ground, and then all this hill right here, and then I've already spread this over here a couple weeks ago. I ain't made up my mind yet what I'm gonna do over there. I've already applied herbicide on the side I'm spreading on now to kill it. That over there, I may end up cutting some hay on it. Some of our hay ground this year ain't looking so great. I should have re-drilled it last fall following a terrible armyworm infestation. But I thought it would come out a little better than it has. And needless to say, it did not come out. So I don't know if we're going to have enough hay. But also at the same time, we've contemplated selling all our cows while the cow market's really good. So I don't know what we're going to do yet, but we may end up mowing some hay on this little part right here, and then once the hay's off, come in here and plant our corn. But this farm right now is about 52 acres, give or take, and I'm not going to plant the whole farm at one time. I'm going to kind of split it up, maybe give it a week or two in between, just so in case we do have a drought like we did last year, where my early corn brought 70 bushels an acre, my later stuff made 110 to 115. So if I'd have planted it all there at the beginning, we'd have lost 40 bushels an acre that we could have had potential to get. So we're going to split this up into a couple different plantings. We're going to have about 60 acres of corn this year, and then the rest of it will be soybeans and wheat, double crop soybeans. So let's get some chicken litter spread. It sure is a beautiful day here in North Carolina, and sunny, pretty warm, feels great. This weekend we got some storms coming in, some potential for some rain. Trying to get this chicken litter out, let it get rained in, and start locking that nitrogen in so this corn can take off. This stuff's spreading pretty good. I just took it out of the house a couple weeks ago, so it's still fairly dry. I love this farm though. It's 52 acres and it's big and wide open. I love tending it. It's so much fun. I look forward to setting the auto steer this year on some straight rows of corn, and when we come in to harvest it and we have some real long straight rows, that's gonna be fun. If corn does any good this year, we're gonna need us a bigger truck, because it ain't gonna take long in this field to really fill up our little dump truck. Well, y'all, that once very large pile of chicken litter is not so large anymore. I'd say there's probably 2 truckloads left, minus the one I got on me. We covered, y'all can see on that, I know it's flashing, it's 41.3 acres so far. And then we covered 20 acres up the road with soybeans. I'm about to give out for the day, y'all. It's about 5 o'clock. I went and ate some lunch about 1 or so, and then a good buddy of mine, the one I used to use his spreader truck a few years ago, he was spreading some the other day, and his chain actually broke on him. So I went and spreaded 3 loads for him this evening. That way, before this rain gets here, he's got all his bean ground covered, and we got his bed shoveled out. He's gonna have to get him a chain. But anyway, we have gotten a bunch done. As I showed y'all this morning, I went down there with a skid steer, and I got to do a little more work. I want to get somebody over here to do either hit it with like a bog har, or maybe we'll just hit it with a disc or something. Get that chicken litter working up in there. On that part of the new ground, I didn't get to it this winter. It got too wet. I did put some chicken litter on it back in the fall, and then now we put about 4 plus tons on it this spring. So in order to start waking up, I hope. Hopefully we'll be able to graze some decent corn out here anyway. Like I said earlier, I really look forward to driving that 9500 on some straight rows out here this fall. Hopefully shelling some 150, 200 bushel corn. I hope, maybe more. But we got a bunch of different varieties of corn this year we're going to try out. Just see kind of what works for us and what doesn't. Corn seed is high this year, so we're going to try a little bit on the cheaper side. I know some neighbors run the varieties, so they can't be too bad, right? But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to getting that Kinsey here in the field very soon. I don't know really how early I want to plant, but looking at the extended forecast, look like we're good for at least a couple weeks on a frost. So if I get that planter put back together here for long, we might get the planter in the ground next week or 2. I think we're going to start with soybeans maybe, and then maybe go from there with corn. We'll see though. I got all my bean ground has been it's been sprayed. All my corn ground now has been sprayed to kill the grass or the cover crop or whatever we got growing on it. We got all of our chicken litter on it, so all we're waiting on now is rain and the weather to allow us to get in the field, and hopefully no frost. We're on the last pass, maybe 2 passes here on this little strip. And then all I got left is some new ground up there that we got a little wheat growing on as a cover crop. And we will be done with this farm until we bring the planter in. I'm excited, y'all. I love this time of year. It's just a lot of work. We're putting chicken litter heavy because I know the guy that had this farm in the prior years didn't put that much on it. So we're going to try to get this ground built up, and then planning on putting my wheat crop here this fall for next year's wheat crop. That ought to be fun, about 50 acres in wheat in one field. Talking about moving a lot of straw out of here. Might have to do some upgrading on our straw business.